The modern world is deeply attracted to ancient Greece. Every year, around 1 million people visit the Parthenon and wander around the ruins, because they're sure the place, and the culture of which it's the supreme embodiment, has something important to say to them. But it's often not quite clear what can ancient Greece do for us? It's a big, vulgar, but central question. There are perhaps 5 big ideas we can take away from ancient Greece. Athens was the cradle of philosophy, home of the 3 greatest philosophers, Socrates, Plato and Aristotle. What unites the Greek philosophers is a search for what they termed eudaimonia, which translates as happiness or fulfillment. They saw philosophy as a hugely practical subject that could help people find their way through the dilemmas of life. The approach was already contained in the word philosophy itself. In Greek, philo means love or devotion, and sophia means wisdom. Philosophers were people devoted to wisdom. Though a bit abstract, the concept of wisdom isn't mysterious. Being wise means attempting to live and die well, leading as good a life as possible within the troubled conditions of existence. What we call the history of Greek philosophy is made up of repeated attempts over the centuries to address ways in which we are unwise. So, for example, Socrates paid special attention to the problem of how people get confused in their minds. He was struck that people didn't quite know what they meant by key ideas like courage or justice or success, even though these were the main ideas they used when talking about their own lives. Socrates developed a method, which still bears his name, by which you can learn to get clearer about what you mean by playing devil's advocate with any idea. The aim isn't necessarily to change your mind, it's to test whether the ideas guiding your life are sound. A few decades later, the philosopher Aristotle tried to make us more confident around big questions. He thought that the best questions were those that ask what something is for. He did this a lot and over many books, asking what is government for, what is the economy for, what's money for, what's art for. Today he might be encouraging us to ask questions like, what's the news media for, what's marriage for? Also active in ancient Greece were the Stoic philosophers, who were interested in panic. The Stoics noticed a really central feature of panic. We panic not just when something bad occurs, but when it does so unexpectedly, when we were assuming that everything was going to go rather well. So they suggested that we should arm ourselves against panic by getting used to the idea that danger, trouble and difficulty are very likely to occur at every turn. The overall task of studying Greek philosophy is to absorb these and many other lessons and put them to work in the world today. The point isn't just to know what this or that philosopher happened to say, but to aim to exercise wisdom at an individual and societal level starting now.